Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me without the microphone? I've never really had a problem before. It's because I was shouting to my mum when I was a little lad. She lived 10 stories up in the tenement in Scotland. Have you seen the programme for tonight? Yes. Have you all? How many have never been to a Burns night before? Oh, so we go, oh, good, excellent, good. Well, this is about enjoyment. It's not about being part of the Burns Society. When I go up and speak about them, you'll never know whether I'm telling the truth or not. So don't make any notes. But it's most important that you enjoy this, because that's what the whole night is about. A little bit of Scottish flavour. And how many people have never had haggis before? Well, most you have. Excellent, good. Most you have. Good, right. I came out of the car there, and somebody very kindly opened the door for me, and I just happened to mention to them that you would have thought he would have picked a better night for his birthday, wouldn't you? No, in this atrocious weather. Anyway, we're going to give the Celtic grace, which is wrongly attributed to Burns. Burns was present when this grace was said, but he had nothing to do with writing it. A simple Scottish grace. So here we go, the Celtic grace. Some hae meat and canna eat, and some nae meat that want it. But we hae meat and we can eat, so let the Lord be thanked. Celtic grace. Nice and simple. So, we've got piper. We've got a piper. Hopefully we've got a chef with a haggis.
You're accompanying please, aren't you?
Eh?
You're accompanying please.
Oh, the haggis is first. Alright, the haggis is not wrong. Thank you. There we go then. Robbie Burns' address to the Haggis, which was a bit of a staple diet in Scotland, as you would understand. Fair fire on his sunset face, great chieftain, and a pudding race, a bit of ma, ye tak your place, penge, tripe or fair. Will are you worthy your grace? Lands in the groaning trencher there you fill your hurdies like a distant hill. Your pen would help to mend a mill in time of need. Through your pores the dews distill like amber bead. His knife, sorry about the tea towel, his knife, see rusting. And cut you off, we're ready slight, French in your gushing, entrails right like on a ditch. And then, oh, what a glorious sight. Warm, reeking, rich. Then horn for horn they stretch and strive, deal at the hindmost on they drive, to lie their wheel spout pipes for life, that bent like drums. And then did man, mislike to rive, be thank your homes. As ever hour the French ragout, or olio with star sewer, fricassee, with mucket spew a perfect scunner. Look down with steering scorn for view on second dinner. The poor devils here on his trash, as feckless as a withered rash, his spindle sham, a gate whip lash, his knee and neck, through bloody flood and failed to dash all how thick. But Mark the rustic, Haggis fed, the trembling earth resounds his thread. Clapping his woolly blade, his woolly knave of blade, he'll mucket whistle, and legs and arms and heads, he'll snade like Tapsith thrustle. The powers that mark mankind your care, and dish them out their bill of fare. All Scotland wants they skinking wear its chips and luggies, but if you want, are great for prayer, give her a haggis. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please pick up your drums and toast the haggis. To the haggis! One.
Standing and give a huge round of applause for the piper who's kindly donated his gift back to the Macmillan Nurses of Children.
You want me to use this, or do you want me to use that? It's easier with the microphone. It is. Does that look like I'm not more high speed here? Alright. This is only going to be 10 minutes. And I am not a Burns historian. But as I'm Scottish, I'm quite interested in the man. And one thing I want you to think about, you are part tonight of hundreds of thousands of people in the globe, China, Russia, South America, America, Europe, Australia, wherever there is a job, because we only have 2 times, apart from weddings and funerals, that we can dress up. Speak for yourself. And these 2 times are tonight, and well done everybody for dressing up, and that well-forgotten day called... Is that called? That well-forgotten day, the 30th of November, St Andrew's Day. Who the hell was St Andrew? Well, we all know who Robbie Burns was. So you're part of that. And all around the world tonight, they've got people a lot better than me talking about Burns. So let's look at the man. I was interested when I got asked to do this because we live in a farming community, basically, in Sandbars, and I've been there 26 years now, and they still treat me as a stranger, which is fantastic. But we have a marvellous community here, and it's helped by things like the rugby club, golf club, football club, etc. for our children, and it's wonderful. It's a farming community as well. And Burns came from a farming family, and it wasn't easy. They didn't have John Deere. There was always any big green things with big fat tyres rolling over the Alloway countryside. It was hard graft in very, very poor soil. And in In 1759, today, Robert Burns was born to William and Agnes Burns, who in total had 7 children. The year after his brother Gilbert came on the scene, and his father was very keen that they both had good education. And Burns was given an exceptional education insofar as, apart from the 3 R's, he also understood Latin. He read people like Milton, Shakespeare, other authors. So he was there reading people like Shakespeare wrote in verse, so he started to understand that. On the downside, although a lot of the young men here might not agree, he was a bit of a lad. And he was a lot of a bit of a lad. Every opportunity he had to sort of go rolling in the rye, as it were, he took it. And he had 15 children by 6 different women. Now, hang on. Can anybody in this... Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Can anybody in this room beat that? I'll come and talk to you later. Time for talking. And one of the interesting things that they did in Scotland at the time was a little bit of social engineering. And at harvest time, they used to pair a young lad and a young lass to get the harvest done. So they'd get their strip, and not to take the clothes off strip, the ground strip, and they'd go and they'd get the harvest done. And Burns, when he was 15, met a young lass called Nell. And Nell was the girl that he wrote his very first song for. Handsome Nell. 15 years old, and he put pen to paper. Still hard work. He got really involved, and he was a great observer, Burns. Wonderful observer. And I'm going to give you 2 quotes that you will have heard, whether you like Burns or not. You'll have heard the quotes. First one is from a poem called True Mud. Who here was educated in Scotland? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you have to do Burns? Yes, because I was made, and so was John, to learn by rote to a moose, as we would call it, to a mouse, as you would call it. And he came upon this field mouse when they were doing the harvest, and his home had been ruined, and it was in bits basically. And he wrote this poem. But a wonderful line came out of it. And the line is, the best laid plans of mice and men may oft garner glare. And John Steinbeck, who read Burns, used that for the title of his novel, Of Mice and Men. And you think the thing about the best laid plans may oftentimes garner glare, which means going out the window. If you read the book, there was a problem there as well with the 2 guys, wasn't there? Short one in the middle. The other one was he observed he didn't like showmen or people that were above themselves in his opinion. And he was sitting in church, or kirk, as we call it in Scotland, and the lady in front of him was all dandified, the big hat, and the little bits of lace and all the rest of it, and all her hair all done up. And Burns was sitting there, and all of a sudden, he saw a louse come out of her hairdo. And it crawled down her neck, and she wasn't aware of it. And he wrote this wonderful poem called To a Louse. And at first, he gives the louse a good kicking for daring to be in that lady's hair and sneak out like that. But this is another great one for me, when he says at the end of the poem, and this is so true for us personally, I think, today. Oh, what the gift the good Lord gave us, to see ourselves as others see us, would frae money a blunder free us and foolish notion. And that is still true today. Because there's always that inward look in the mirror. Now the next one I'm going to do the first verse because it's important. Ladies, this last part of this little stanza is for you, and you'll recognise it. And the guys, the start of it, and I defy anybody in this room to tell me, when I've read this, that they haven't done this. And it's from his greatest poem, Tam O'Shanter. And Tam O'Shanter he was asked to write because in Alloway there was a haunted kirk, and they believed on dark, moonless, windy nights the Gael would come up with the warlocks and wizards and basically have an eat up. And Burns wrote this. Now I'm going to actually read this so I get it correct. And remember, gentlemen, I want you to recognise the first part. We'll look at it that way. Can you still hear me? Right. Thomas Chandler, a tale. When Chaplain Billies leave the street and Bruthy neighbours meet, and market days are wearing late, and folk begin to tap the gate while we're sitting boozing, unco-happy, we think nae on the long Scotch smiles. That mosses, waters, slaps and styles that lie between us and our hame. Ladies, this is you. Where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brows like a coming storm, and nursing her wrath to keep it warm. Right, hands up all the men who have never been in that position. Well done. Yeah, that'll be right. And hands up all the ladies who have been in that position. None of you have been in your husband's fail at home by 6 and he doesn't home. And it's the old. So, what is that? Now, he actually, he had a bit of fortune. He was still working as a farmer. And it was hard work. His father had died. He was getting heart problems, although he didn't know he had them. And he was suffering from rheumatic fever as well. But he got his break. And he wrote a book of poems called Poems in the Scottish Dialect. And they were taken up by a printer in Kilmarnock, and they were known as the Kilmarnock edition. If you go on the web, you can actually see the original book if you're curious. And he sold 300 copies of this book at 3 shillings a copy. And he didn't get the 3 shillings, obviously. But one of the problems Burns had was he couldn't hang on his cash. And he was also farming a farm that wasn't producing anything at all for him. So, Jean Armour, who he was meant to be in love with, he had his little way with her, produced twins, and her father basically said to him, on your bike, because at that time Burns was in favour of what was happening in the French Revolution. So he then went and thought, well, I'll go for somebody else, and he went for a woman called Highland Mary. And the whole idea was going to go to Jamaica and make a fortune, and Highland Mary died, so plan B, or plan A was in the window, and he went back to Jean Armour, who he eventually married. But he wrote more poems, and he got involved in Scottish songs. And he wrote one of the most beautiful, beautiful love songs I suppose has been written, although maybe One Direction could disagree with me. And it was My Love Is Like a Red, Red Rose. And he wrote that specifically for Jean Armour. And if I had the voice to entertain you by singing it, I wouldn't. But it's a lovely, lovely song. And he also did songs like Green Road of Rashes Home, Scots Wha Hey, whoa! That should have been out of the anthem, shouldn't it? Instead of that stupid thing we're singing now. And he did All One Sing. Probably the most famous global song that Burns wrote. But most of us in this room sing it incorrectly. There is no for the sake of. Scots do this one, not just English. There is no for the sake of. It is for Auld Lang Syne. His legend still lives on today. He was a great observer. He was made the top Scot in 2009. I was hoping for Billy Connolly, but we got Robbie Burns, really good. And Robert Burns died at 37 years old, almost a pauper. And 2 days before he died, he'd written his last letter to one of his cousins and one of his remaining brothers. to get him another £3, because he only had 2 Scots pounds to his name, to get him another £3 to stop him going to the debtor's prison. As it so happened, they didn't have to do that because he snuffed it at 37 years old. But his legacy is still there. And every time I read him, I get a little bit of thing, yeah, I understand where you were coming from. And that's why we're here tonight. And I hope you've enjoyed yourself so far. You're going to be regally entertained now. Hope it didn't take up too much of your time. Thanks for listening.
This is the only reason I got invited to the golf club, because I'm Scottish. I don't know anything about women. Anyway, the general sort of consensus is for me to sort of say a little thing about the fairer sex. My wife's given me strict instructions: don't be rude, keep it short, and only say something nice. Good night.
Says that every time I'm the match sponsor.
Anyway, just a couple of quick questions. Anybody know what a diplomat is?
Not you.
It's a man that remembers the birthdays but never the ages. Morality, obviously designed by women. Gang of dyslexics recently attacked Jimmy Somerville. Paul Paris has just been arrested. The police remember he did 2 little boys in the 70s. What's an anniversary in a toilet got in common? Most men miss them.
Come on, Rod.
What do men with tall clothes have in common? If they're laid properly, you can walk on them for years after. Just very quickly, a little bit about tonight. We're supposed to toast the ladies. So together we stand here in praise for the women around us and in our days. Like Robbie Burns, he once knew that we love our lassies, though he had more than a few. When in our arms, they bring us untold pleasure. They are our lassies, for they are true treasure. We seek to marry them, it is said, for nothing more than to get them in bed. They feed our spirit, they feed our soul. For many of us, they fill our bowl. They care for us, they keep us well, though occasionally they make us feel like hell. They teach us manners, they teach us styles. For many of us, that takes quite a while. They improve with age, while we do not. For that is clear looking at you lot. For the parcel of rogues I see here tonight, it's truly amazing our lassies don't take flight. For they put up with all our habits, of which we have lots, such as the control of the remote and our preoccupation for sport. For our lassies, we would walk 500 miles. It may be because of their feminine wiles. Over heathery mountains and scraggy glens, we seek them out now and then, only when we're desperate. Tonight we stand here in praise, so join me lads, let your voices raise. Prepare to toast and fill your glasses. Join me now, a toast to our bonny lassies. And you'll notice, Robert, because we're in the golf club, I never fucking swore once.
In awe, firstly, of Ian, who stood here without any notes whatsoever and did such a fabulous speech with real passion about Scotland. So I do apologise for my notes, but I'm not Scottish. I also stand in awe of Amy, who tried desperately to make a joke, but it didn't. Tonight has sought advice, so from Edmo the advice was this. He said, Shelley, you need to speak with a Scottish accent. I can't do that. The other piece of advice this evening when I was going through my 3 pages, exciting, isn't it? 3 pages of discussion this evening, my daughter Holly said, Mum, just don't do it, it's such an embarrassment. So this is for Holly, who I know I will embarrass her if she was here. As I start my speech this evening, I fear that my reply may cause some consternation. I hope, though, no outcry. A man deserves to be rebuked. A lass is ne'er to blame. He phoned to ask if I'd oblige. Stubby was his name. I would be honoured, so he said, if you would do the reply on behalf of the lasses. So he said, so casual, by the by. Thus I swiftly called him back to say, that would be fine. It's a shame that I had no idea of the stress that would be mine. I thought this speech was something quick that I could find online and print off just before I came and read out at this time. Yet only a few days ago, to Mr. Google I turned. He said, I had to write my own, none was supplied by Mr. Burns. Yikes, I cried, this isn't right, this is an awful affair. Have they any idea how long it took just to work out what to wear? And glancing back at the internet, 'twas with horror that I saw that grace and charm and wit was required. Stubby, you just don't know me at all. I headed up to, that's the first page, I headed up to Edinburgh to source the witty ditty. Forced to drink a dram or 2, just came home feeling shitty. So I bravely battled on, back to Google I turned, my ever-present buddy in life. So much from him I've learned. Reveal he did, replies of lasses from Burns nights of the past. Please picture the horror in my face on reading 15 minutes it should last. Don't panic though, I quickly thought that this I'd just dismiss. 15 minutes of me, I fear, is surely, Tim, not your bliss. And furthermore it was revealed I had to show men up as fools, while also referring to Rob himself. Tell me, who makes these rules? And what to say to show men up, to show them sound less wise? A man can be a useful thing, Jude, don't you agree? No woman will deny. And what, they work so hard from dawn to dusk and still put dinner on the table. They sort the kids and clean the house. Oh, oops, that's us lasses that are so able. Okay, it's said in jest. I think men are alright, despite conning me into this, or laughing at my plight. And as for Burns, that famous Scot, a real one, not just in part, 'twas 250 years ago he was born, and a bit later he did depart. The middle in the bit, it seemed to consist of flirting and being a tart. But he said he sought out some time to write lots of stuff, which now is considered pure art. Well, my poem is done, it turned out to be fun, my panic was clearly in vain. But just so I'm clear, if you have one next year, please don't ask me again. So, thanks to you, AB, your speech was rather good. On behalf of all the lasses here, we thank you, like we should, ladies, to toast to the laddies.
Whiskey was made by my old company that I worked for. If you enjoyed it, it should still be on the way to us for 30 quid. So get in there tomorrow, clear the shelves. Thanks very much.